The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and think
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
England swings like a pendulum do. Bobby's on bicycles 2x2. Westminster Abbey, the Tower of Big Ben, the rosy red cheeks of the little children. This late afternoon, Apex Online Racing brings its Formula Renault 2.0 championship to Silverstone for round 8 of 12 on the Season 5 calendar. And all the simulated open-wheel racing from both the 40-minute opening feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. From Old Blighty, welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green Soup and Crackers. Bill Soup's on, my partner Sean Crackers Ambrose up in the booth all season long to call the action. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director Amjad Yaman, armed with camera locations created exclusively for GSRC by its in-house director of photography, Dougie Beard.
If you've brought cyberspace into your place, then over the next 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines and all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader Formula Renault 2.0 championship event that will immediately follow.
After a round 6 event at VIR, which saw lead changes too many to document, Suzuka saw only 2 lead changes total for both the feature and the sprint races, and that came when the leader lost and regained the top spot during the pit stop. 33 drivers took the grid at the Origami Pretzel, at the Origami Pretzel, with both leaders Gunnar Nienhaus on the pole. The point leader Gunnar Nienhaus on the pole. The Carbon Motorsports driver slowly increased his lead over Rene Oosterkamp of Sim RT, losing it only for 1 lap when it came in for fuel. Nienhaus took the win, his 4th win of the season. Oosterkamp came in second. The only upfront excitement came from Christian Tkach. The Red Devil qualified second but fell to 4th after 1 lap. Was 5th for most of the middle part of the race until working his way back up to claim the final podium spot. 23 drivers finished on the lead lap of the feature race, which meant when the field was inverted for the sprint race, Infinity's Ty McLeod was on the pole inside of Silvio Hurt. A huge underperformance in the feature race made McLeod the sprint race favorite, and he proved the odd makers correct. The drivers were able to squeeze in 13 laps in the 25 minutes of racing allotted for the sprint race, and McLeod led them all, earning his first win of the season. Hurt did not fare as well, crashing out after 4 laps. Bruno Dometer of TDT Racing moved up from his 3rd place grid spot to earn 2nd. For Nienhaus, well, he ran out of time, going from 23rd to 3rd. So, who was the winner for the event? Well, a feature win and a sprint race 3rd place, throw in a couple of bonus points, and sure enough, Gunnar Nienhaus, 49 points, by far the best result of the day. Christian Tkach went 3rd and 6th to finish 2nd best. Rene Oosterkamp's 2nd and 10th landed him a point behind Tkach. A 9th and 4th earned Evil Sonic's Jean-Francois Godin 25 points. 23 points went to LM Rennsport's Patrick Kessler, who finished 6th and 12th. But that was then. This late afternoon is all about Silverstone crackers. Fans are probably familiar with Silverstone, but maybe not the configuration that we'll be racing on here in a few minutes.
Cheers, Soup, and welcome. Right here next to the Northamptonshire villages of Silverstone and Whittlebury. This old track was built on the site of World War II Royal Air Force Bomber Station, currently the home of the British Grand Prix, which it first hosted back in 1948. Yes, Soup, 1948. The old historic version is one of 5 available configurations offered by the iRacing service, but a redesign in 1990 created the modern Grand Prix layout familiar to most race fans. But today, the Apex Online Racing guys are going to be racing on the international configuration. Kind of a sprint track, a lot of fun. It's a truncated layout that detours sharply to the right after Maggots and heads through the infield before a tight hairpin returns the drivers back to the GP course. The best way, though, to get an idea what it's like to get around Silverstone's 10-turn, 3.6-kilometer international configuration is to go on board the GSRC Formula Renault.
All right, we've got Scott Newton in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Silverstone. Coming down to Cops, this is a quick flick in this car, so expect passes to be pretty hairy despite the paved runoff. Most first corners offer a good place to pass, but this one can be a little questionable. As you exit, drift off to the right to set up for maggots. Because we're on the international course, this basically becomes a very fast chicane that makes the braking for turn 4 very tricky. Since you don't want to head through there too wide, it somewhat removes a potential passing zone. Hopefully you got a pretty good run off the corner because we're going to be on the power for a long while. Blasting around these gentle bends, expect some drafting to come into play and more than a few aggressive moves attempted into the Abbey hairpin. With the downforce of the Renault, the little kink into the braking zone here shouldn't prove too much of a problem. Be sure to square off this corner, and as you can see, we've now come back to the main course. The slow hairpin of this layout means bridge will only require a little lift to allow you the proper line into Priory. This right-left sequence sometimes causes confusion because drivers attempting to pass into Priory get surprised by the car ahead keeping a defensive line. Coming off the corner, you get a little squirt of the gas before Brooklands. This is a slow and technical section of the circuit, requiring patience and precision. Try to set up for Luffield so that you can give yourself a good run off the corner and prevent drivers from going onto the attack into the first corner. As you fly out of there, Woodcote is easily flat out. Hopefully you kept it all together and have now finished a lap around Silverstone.
Joe Peak on the mic and Scott Newton on the wheel, taking us around here at Silverstone. Thanks to Apex Online Racing for today's lap guide. Now, before we take a look at the point standings, remember, the GSRC stat boys, Simon and Poindexter, have done the math, compiling these totals that take into account the 2 dropped events that the rules allow for. These numbers are seen now, here, for the first time anywhere, exclusively on GSRC. Carbon Racing's Gunnar Nienhaus was the big score at last time out at Suzuka, and that is reflected in the standings, now up 34 points. Everyone has been following the rise of Christian Tkach. The Red Devil racer is up another spot with Nienhaus the last rung on the ladder. Aperture's Kerry Nolden did not have a good day in Japan, dropping out of second, 7 points behind Tkach, and now tied with SimRT's Rene Osterkamp. Once a threat to lead, Vector Simsports Christian Koch falls 2 spots down into 5th. Phil Reed and Michael Mittner hold station for Aperture and Vector. Jean-Francois Godin of Evosonic swaps spots with Quantum's Adam Tyranny. And up to the top in top 5 at Suzuka, the result returns LM Rennsport's Patrick Kessler to the graphic. Moving to the team championship, Vector continues to fall. Just 2 rounds ago, Koch and Mittner were on top. Now they sit in 3rd. Daniel Morris was a no-show at Suzuka, but Tkach's success was enough to move Red Devil into 2nd. But up on top, it remains Reed and Nolden for Aperture. The Nienhaus brothers keep Carbon Racing in 4th. Evan Emre and Knut Martinson keep Force Fissy on the left side. Now, SimRT, Evosonic, Quantum, and Vector Shadow sit 6th through 9th. And for the first time this season, thanks to Ty McLeod's sprint race win, he and Lawrence Suddenstrike de Rijk have Infinity Racing inside the top 10. Good to see them being shown up there. Sean, we've reviewed the last race, introduced the track, gone over the drivers and team championships. Now let's review the nuts and bolts of the series if we look at the event details.
All right, buddy, let's do it. Welcome to Season 5 here, Round 8 of 12. Get 2 drop events, Soup. You get a couple chances to do that, a combination of the feature and sprint race. Now today, for anyone new here to the broadcast or to iRacing in general, this is the Formula Renault 2.0, a 2000cc 4-cylinder 16-valve naturally aspirated motor, produces about 210 horsepower. And this is an open setup with 40% of fuel in the tanks, about 20 liters. And the open setup, what does that mean? Well, you've got the choice to tweak the various settings for the car in suspension, ride height, fuel. Again, only max out at 40%, but you might be able to use a little bit less in this feature race for that second, for that pit stop that you're going to have to take. Now, there's 2 races per event. Could be possibly 2 winners. We've seen a couple of repeats already. It will be a feature and sprint race. The standing starts. You'll have no time to heat up the tires. Everybody will do it from the grid. No fast repairs. Any damage to the Formula Renault 2.0 quite frankly, might take a little long to repair. It will probably take you out of any contention for the race. Into the cap, yes, there is one, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. The weather today, Soup, it's a really great day here on track. We're looking at 24 degrees Celsius here, partly cloudy conditions while they qualify. 28 degrees Celsius on track. A little bit of wind today. I don't know if that's going to play much of a factor in this smaller configuration, but it is a great day for racing, sir.
Very much so. Hey, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about corner number one. You know, avoiding the first corner big ones have always been an issue, but I think we should be pretty good for a little bit at least until we get to maybe some trickier corners.
Yeah, you know what? Turn one is going to be, certainly when we get started here, cold tires going into turn one is going to be very tough. You can really run the car, you can sweep it out very wide to the left. In fact, you can get over the curb without incurring any incidents there, okay? And so the question is, how far do you really want to push it? There'll be a lot of people fighting to get through there, because the next section you're going to get to after going flat out for a little bit is Maggots and Beckett's. Getting through Maggots, not too bad. Beckett's, though, having to slow the car down and get that right-hander, which is basically about a 90 in, is very, very tricky. Now, let's talk about the format of the race here and the details today. We're right in the middle here of a 3-lap lone qualifying run, okay? Everybody out getting their fastest laps in. The first race here that we're going to be watching is 40 minutes. There will be one stop because only 40% of fuel. You will need it. It's a large pit window, though. You can actually do, I think, about 25, 26 laps on a tank with the 40% fuel. So, again, the window will be large. The grid will be set by qualifying. The incident cap for the feature race will be 13 incidents, okay? If you lose half race points, if you get to the 13, if you get to 17 incidents, you'll be disqualified from the event. Now, the sprint race is 25 minutes with no stop. And what we'll be doing in the sprint race? Well, we'll be inversing the grid of the leaders on the lead lap, and the lap down cars will be at the back of the grid, and there'll be a 13x disqualification limit in the sprint race. Okay, now Sue, what have we got here? I'm sorry, I lost.
Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and talk about, I want to talk about some of the drivers who are here today. We have all the familiar names like Gunnar Nienhaus and Christian Koch is here, Michael Mittner, Phil Reed. Names that we've seen a lot, of course, Christian to catch, all these guys. But Sean, there is a new name up there right now, sitting 4th fastest in qualifying that we haven't seen all season.
Yeah, Acio Teles, Brazilian driver. And I did see on the forums, in fact, that there were a couple of drivers who had withdrawn, and they've taken on some some fresh meat, if you will. They brought into the league here, and Brazil is dipping their toes into the water here. And he was one of the fastest drivers in practice leading up to this qualifying session. We're gonna have to keep an eye on his pace, because I really think this race is gonna have everything to do with pace. Super, we're talking about in the pre-race. You can go really, really fast here. The question is how fast can you be over every? I mean, obviously that's the name of the game in racing, period. But this track lends itself to really, really fast, flat out on the throttle, getting it up into 7th gear in a couple spots even. But when you get past turn 5 there in Abbey, all the way through the final turn in Woodcott, you've got a lot of technical issues to deal with, and you're going to have to slow the car down very quickly, and some hard braking, tough turns. There's really not any banking here. It's a very, very flat track. It's going to be a tricky one today, Soup. Going to see him scrambling all over the place.
Of course, a lot of our viewership here watch this live, so clearly you know what time it is around the globe. But if you are watching this on a replay, you're tuning in just to get caught up on what's going on with Apex Online Racing. This is a Friday night in Europe. Most of our drivers are from Europe. There are a few that, of course, Scott Newton from the Australia who races, and there are very few from North America because it's midday for North America. And the same for Brazil, as it's probably, I'm going to guess, around 5 o'clock in Brazil right now. So we don't have many from there, but welcome in Aisio Teles. We'll see how he does. He looks like he's fast. Always good to see new guys coming in here. Looks like qualifying is just about wrapping up right now. Let's go ahead. We can bring it up right now. Sitting on the front row, Sean, is Christoph Holstein. Good to see him up there. Renee Osterkamp.
Okay, row 2 going to go to Gunnar Niehaus, and row they're in 4th place. Our newcomer there, ACO Tellus.
5th and 6th, Christian Coach and Michael Mittner.
Row 4 going to belong to Phil Reed and Ty McLeod.
And then Christian Tkach and Gianni Vecchio round out 9th and 10th.
All right, 11th going to go to Adam Tierney. And Scott Newton going to round out row 6.
Kerry Nolan and Knut Martinson are next.
All right, row 8, Patrick Kessler and Daniel Morris.
Jeroen de Quartel in 17th, Evan Emre in 18th.
Row 10. Wow, I get Little Stevie Chambers and Sarah Little Winged Dove.
Hidden Blackjack, Manuel Hoyer. The double duck spot, Lee Robinson.
All right, and then we've got Ashley Howell, Luke White. They're in 23rd and 24th.
Andy Cowie and Jean-Francois Godin in the next row.
Row 14, Robert Taylor and Vittorio Saltalamacchia.
Urka Lindstrom and Alexander Valdo make up 29th and 30th.
All right, 31st, going to be Lawrence DeReich, and 32nd, Bruno Dometer.
Another new name, Christian Kranich, back there in 33rd. Alain Felipe Andre in 34th. And the last car out there, Ben Scott. From 31st to 35th did not put in qualifying times. But look at this on the pole. Christoph Holstein, he has some wins, but they've all come in sprint races. This is the first time we've seen him be really fast. A qualifying time of 1 minute, 14 seconds, 0.9. He is about a tenth of a sec faster than Rene Oosterkamp, our point leader, back in 3rd. Gunnar Niehaus, and then Aisio Tellas in 4th position. Keep an eye on the Brazilian. Welcome to the series. The cars are getting on the grid right now. It's a pretty beautiful day here, considering that we are in the UK where it can be ugly. You can hear the engine start to harmonize now. Round number 8 of the Apex Online Racing Series is underway. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows. Christoph Holstein leads the Stampede down into Corpse. The first corner. Niehaus following behind. Tellas in 4th, and Koch rounding out your top 5. So far, so good, but Sean, they work their way now through Beckett's. This is where it gets technical, and they do the cutoff section. So they come across the infield. Little bit of an issue.
Stevie Chambers spins.
We'll come back. We'll get back to that one a little bit later. Look at this battle for the lead. Here is Holstein being challenged on the outside. Not going to make... Holstein loses the position. Oosterkamp was able to get that done. Going into the Abbey, that's the new kind of hairpin. Go ahead, Sean.
Big collision in Abbey. Ashley Howell makes contact. It's not Howell that winds up left there. I didn't see who got left there, but there was a collision. Let's keep going forward. Lots of action here on the opening lap.
Little bird Sarah Dove gets the worst of that one, Sean. She's the one that got turned around. She's going to lose a ton of position. Lap 1 is complete. Oosterkamp, Holstein, Niehaus, Tellas, and Koch, your top 5. Following them, Reed, Mittner, McLeod, Tkach, and trying to make a move back there to get around those guys. Falling back is Gianni Vecchio. Single file racing continues as they get this sorted out. One car going very wide, really pushing it.
Niehaus all the way off there. Surely to picked up an off track there.
And now going off. Holstein, the track goes this way, buddy.
Oof, boy. That's going to be costly for Holstein. He's still dropping, still trying to get back on track.
Trying to find where the track is as he takes the kind of the inner loop there. If we were Watkins Glen, my goodness, he is falling back.
Yeah.
He has fallen back into 12th now.
His teammate Tierney just get right by him there.
Tight battle up in front of Spin. Car on the grass.
Yeah, it's Kerry Nolan actually off the track.
Nolan was trying to get to the inside of Gianni Vecchio. Gave Vecchio a little bit of a punt. That didn't slow Vecchio down, but Nolan really slows down. He's going to lose positions.
Abbey is really one of the trickier hairpins you'll see in racing, but we've still got more trouble here soon.
Ty McLeod. Yeah, he just missed it. He was running in good position. He was running back behind Mittner in about 7th. Car went off into the sand, but he didn't pick up any damage, so he continues.
Yeah, Christoph Holstein pitting already, Soup.
Boy, he must have got some damage maybe to the undercarriage of the car, to the wing when he went off into the grass. These cars are very fragile. There is one pit stop they will have to make, but this is way too early. He'll need to come in one more time. No fast repairs. He can get whatever work can be done, will get done.
Boy, either that or he thinks he's right up against his window here. I did not really see a lot of damage on his car.
We have this on, so look at this, who is off. That looks like Hoyer was involved in that one.
Hoyer and Emre and another car to the inside there. Boy, big trouble trying to merge back on, too.
Yeah, that was Hoyer from behind. Hoyer got into the back of Emre. Now, the car that was off...
Mittner.
Yeah, it was Mittner who was slow, and that's what I think. I think Emre was checking up, and then Hoyer got into him.
Yeah,
all right, now we're going to... Go ahead, Sean. You look at the Chambers one.
Yeah, here's Chambers here. Now, this was the opening lap, and Stevie gets the inside. I think he got a little bit too much curb there and spins by himself, and everybody scrambles to get around him.
Great that everyone got around. Now we're going to look at the one that got a little bird turned around.
Yeah, this was an Abby here, and she gets turned around there, and that contact, she drops all the way to the back of the pack as a result of that, Sue.
There you have it. So a few issues, but Sean, they were able to avoid the big one.
Another incident. Jerome de Cortel is around, coming out of Beckett's, trying to get down into Ireland, and he spins it.
Just a self-spin. He spun that right in front of Gianni Vecchio. Boy, Gianni has sure had his share of excitement so far. Running in 8th was De Cortel. That's one of the drivers, Sean, that's new to the series. We've been keeping an eye on. He seems fast. He just hasn't been able to get the results so far.
Boy, De Rijk back here trying to make a pass on Philippe Andre. These drivers shuffled all the way to the back, Andre especially. Used to seeing them a little closer to the top, Sue.
So they come across completing lap number 4, working lap number 5. My goodness, we've had our share of excitement so far. 34 minutes remaining. It is still Rene Oosterkamp with Gunnar Nienhuis out in front. These guys ran 1-2 in the feature race at Suzuka, but the order was reversed. Oh, Nienhuis has an off, and it looks like Teljes, the newcomer's got a run on him coming down the international straight. He's gobbling up. Is he going to be able to look at the defensive line that Nienhuis takes? Gunnar says, get out the reggae music. If you want to pass me, you're going to have to do it high. Teljes says, no problem. He tries to get some momentum through Abbey. Let's see now if he can get going. Yeah, that inside line is going to slow Nienhuis down. He doesn't have quite the momentum off. They are Cialis bathtubs now as they head down into bridge, and it looks like the point leader is going to hang on. No, fighting back on the inside. Here comes Teljes. They continue to be side by side. Now the preferred position is going to go to the newcomer. I think he's going to be able to close the door. Give it second position to Acilio Teljes.
Ooh, what a move that was. Wow. Nice running there for Des.
So Brazil now finds itself in second. Nienhuis back in there. Nienhuis is not done, though. He ducks to the inside now, going into Corpse, and he gets the pass made. That was a short-lived lead from him. Now and he goes, he's really pushing the boundaries of that corner 1. That'll happen there. Look at the driver now back in third, being challenged, coming up on the inside, now on the outside. That is, fighting with him is Koch. Koch not able to get that job done. Teljes could have held his breath longer than he held the lead. Oosterkamp remains out in front, happy to see the battling going behind him. Nienhuis, Teljes, Koch, and Reed, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right now.
Yeah, that Teljes is he's making it very interesting here. This is going to be a good fight between him and Gunnar Nienhuis.
I can report that Christoph Holstein, your pole sitter, came in for that early pit stop. He is back out. He is the last car on the lead lap. But it's very, very questionable whether he can go the distance from when he came in.
All right, Sue. Coming to turn 1. Okay, it's Cops. Cops.
Cops. Okay,
Just
thank
Cops.
you. There's no R in there. It's not even close to Corpse. I know that. Well, the way that I thought some people were going to have trouble and maybe die there, that it was going to be a corpse.
I just didn't want to let you keep going because they're already talking about it in the chat.
I'm here for your amusement, boys and girls. It's cops. I know it's cops. What's wrong with me? I may call it corpse for the rest of the race just to have fun.
What's wrong with Renault Osterkamp? Exactly nothing. He's running, baby. Got a really nice lead on the rest of the field, about a little over 2 seconds. And you know what? I think Gunnar and Delaz are going to be fighting for some time here. Smooth sailing for Renault Osterkamp, but guess what? Lap traffic already not too far up in front of him here, Soup. And that was something I was concerned about coming into this race is how quickly we would catch the back of the field. How many will be left? Maybe a dozen on the lead lap? Could it be 13, 14 cars? Maybe less than 10? We're going to see here about 30, just about 31 minutes left.
Renault Osterkamp now with a 2-second lead over the fight that's going on behind him. Gunnar Nienhuis comfortably in second. This may settle down until we get into the pit window. Now we're looking at Cowie back there in 15th position. Look at this battle. This is great. Now ducking on the inside here, trying to make a move. That is Cowie, seeing if he can get around. The car he's fighting with just in front of him is Morris. Daniel Morris, the Red Devil driver, does a good job of defending that spot. Remember, Morris is teamed up with Christian to catch as that Red Devil team continues to make its way up the standing. Look at Cowie now, the milkman, trying to find a way around here. Sean, I think he might have it.
Yeah, well, Morris had to check up there for Vecchio just up in front of them. And give the advantage there right now. Morris on the inside holding station neat. Looks like he's going to get it. But, boy, tell you what.
It's the momentum. It's the momentum from that outside line that he was trying to hang on to. Now Morris has lost that position. Now coming up, here comes Luke White.
Yeah, Cowie gets that away. Now Luke White on the attack. Morris got to be careful here.
Vecchio running in 13th ahead of all the action. Cowie has got around those guys and now sets his sight on Vecchio. Morris in 15th position, trying to fend off White. Here comes White with a run. Morris is going to surrender that inside position into Copse. They both survive. There are no corpses there. And moving up is White into 15th. Morris back to 16th.
I should have left you alone, Soup. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. You know what the other guys do is they just quickly say it correctly, and then I catch on that way, and you can do it subtly. But no, Sean. Not what Crackers does. Points it out to the global audience that Soup is an idiot. All right, here we go. Vecchio up there. Look at. Let's drop back out. We're looking at Andre right now. This is a great battle back here for 19th behind these guys. The lead car is Emery. That's the French Canadian. That's Alain Philippe Andre. I believe he is actually from France. Challenging now, coming, trying to get that spot. Here comes sudden strike to Reich, and he gets him. But he's wide. He gets a little bit straightened out. He got a little tap from Andre as he went around, kind of turned him the right direction, and I don't think it hurt him at all.
A spin and a save.
Yeah.
Now Waldo just behind him's got to watch out here because there's a good battle going on between Hoyer and Saltalamacchia. Saltalamacchia up on the wing here now of Hoyer.
Hoyer taking that defensive line. And now we have a first.
Oh, and a big spin.
That looked like it was Waldo.
Yeah, just in front of them. Oof.
Boy, he got turned around. Oh, my goodness. If you want to get a replay, if you can, a great shot would be from Kranich, the new driver. It's car number 903. I don't know how he missed him. Oh, my gosh. He was coming full speed and managed to just miss. There it is right there. Shoot, that's about as close as you can do it. And Valdo was turned around. He saw him coming. He must have put his simulated hands over his simulated eyes. Sarah Dove having more trouble now as she has spun again. We took an infield. She's running in 24th.
Soup, man, this battle between Tarek and Hoyer is intense, man. Oh, and Tarek spins right in front of Hoyer.
Yeah, now that time he tried to straighten him out again. It didn't quite work as well. Boy, and I think that was Vecchio who was coming over the mic saying, Sal Talamacchia, yeah, got into it with Hoyer. Then it was during pit entrance. After the spin, coming into pit entrance. Now, P2 we're looking at. Action all over the track. And we have, look at this. The Brazilian has got around. He did it once before, and this time he's able to hang on to it. Teljes now up into second place around Gunnar Nienhaus. The gap now between Oosterkamp and Teljes is 2 seconds. We'll mark that. 26 minutes left of racing. The pit window has opened up. Evan Emre is the leader of all the cars who've come in. He's running right now in 26th position.
All right, Soup, and we've got a lot of traffic coming up ahead of our leaders here. This is going to be very, very tricky, especially you're going to have drivers thinking about cycling in for pit stops now. Heads got to be on a swivel, have to be very, very careful here. Teljes is doing a very, very good job here of trying to get to Oosterkamp. The gap has not opened up much. It's still riding at about 2.1 seconds.
Something we teach at the Back Markers United meeting. If you're a back marker and you're wondering when your pit stop, when it's time to pit, usually it's when the leader, you see him in your rearview mirror, and that's kind of what's happening right now to Robert Taylor. Look at this. There's Oster. You're looking at, there's Taylor right now. He's the last car on the lead lap, and he's got the leader coming up behind him. And this is a case where Oosterkamp can't take too long to fool around with him because he's got Teljes coming. And Sean, it's really all about timing. If you catch a lap car at some of these technical sections of the track, yeah, you might be able to get around them, but you're going to have to do it not on the fastest racing line.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Taylor did decide to leave his car out on track. It's going to be up to Oosterkamp to deal with it because it looks like he's probably going to catch him down in Abbey. That we ride on off the tail end of Teljes now, looking back at Nienhaus, who's right on his tail. Nienhaus trying to find a way. On him, tighter than a scuba suit on a fat man right now. And I think he has a look at Abbey, but he's not going to get it done. We continue to watch this battle. Remember, Nienhaus was out in front. Teljes got around him for a second. Nienhaus got it back. Teljes got it back. All this going on in front of Christian Koch. Oosterkamp has got around Taylor, so Taylor goes one lap down. He did not pit, and he stays out. The interval from the leader to second place, under 2 seconds. For Oosterkamp, next one up, Vittorio Saltalamacchia. Saltalamacchia has already made his pit stop. None of the top 22 drivers have. The leader of all the cars who have pitted continues to be Evan Emre, running in 23rd position. We continue to look at the battle for second. This is Teljes, but now he has Taylor in front of him to get around. Soup, I'm carefully watching Christian to catch right now. He's running some very, very competitive laps with the leaders and is really starting to make small gains here. I think the pit stop going to be very, very important for him. Trouble just in front of him with Christian Koch getting by Robert Taylor there, and that got really scary in Abbey.
Taylor was in a tough situation. He did a great job. He let Nienhaus go by. He let Teljes go by, but sometimes the third car is tough to do. Great job from Robert Taylor getting out of the way. Get a croissant at the next Back Markers United meeting.
Boy, look at the run,
Oh, and here comes, you talked about to catch. Here he comes in the pits right now. So this is, Sean, this is the real front runner, pitting from 5th. our first of our leader. Let's see if we can pick up Evan Emre right now, who is running in a 22nd position. See if he's anywhere close to catching these guys.
He is in Abbey right now, so he's still got to get all the way through the last turn.
Yeah, he's got to go Abbey through Bridge and all the way through. I don't think he's going to have any chance because I think Takech is going to be in and out, yeah. Takech is going to file out. It looks like he's going to come out just behind Luke White.
The milkman is in.
Andy Cowie coming in. Takech out now in 14th. And now the windows are starting to open up. Cowie has been in there for a while now. 13 seconds in the box compared to like 4 seconds for some of these guys. What we have learned is when they go up on the jacks, it's not necessarily that they're taking tires. Sometimes they have damage that iRacing forces them to fix. I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't happen to Cowie right now, as he was in his box for 13 seconds. That's going to be costly. That compares to 4 seconds for Christian Takech. Look at this battle now. That's Nolden that we're on, taking a peek as they are side by side. Nolden, and that is, he's in there with Scott Newton, the Australian driver. They continue to fight. Nolden going to get the best of that.
Nolden and Newton. Gotta like a nice ring to it. Newton really putting the pressure on him.
I like when Newton is racing next to Christian Koch. Koch and Newton sounds like a kid's birthday party. Here's some Koch and Newtons for you guys. Nolden racing out in 6th position. Former champion. Gunnar Nienhaus still running in 3rd. Sandwiched between Christian Koch and Aseo Teyes. Aseo, the Brazilian driver, having a good run right now. Leader of all the cars who have pitted, Christian Takech. We saw him pit from 5th position.
Scott Newton coming down pit road.
Newton coming in. Should be a clean one from him. I think he's been fairly safe. And he goes up on the jack as well, so proving the commentator wrong. That's going to be a long stop for him as well. Nobody wants to take tires here. If they go up on the jack, it's something that iRacing is making them do. Or they've made a mistake and forgot to check the boxes. Newton out now. His stop, 10 seconds in the box.
Yeah, that's going to be costly for him. Good fight on track here for 21st and 22nd. Stevie Chambers, Vecchio going at it. Vecchio looking to the inside as they head down into Cops. Stevie gonna slingshot right around him here. Oh, Vecchio, just the car's just moving all over the place. He was hard on the brakes. Stevie Chambers does a great job of not getting into the back of him. That's what we love seeing here in the AOR, Soup, is just how careful these drivers are and how precise they can be.
Whoa, my goodness.
Oh, geez, yeah, what was I saying? What? Sorry, Stevie.
Oh, the AOR podcast car almost got into the back of Vecchio. He's going to lose a spot to Daniel Morris for the Red Devil driver.
I think I'm going to shut up now, Soup.
Sim RT driver Gianni Vecchio. Again, he's had more action than anyone deserves. Correction on that is Sim RC, by the way. I apologize.
Yeah, I might want to talk to Vecchio about some numbers on the Derby tomorrow, on the Kentucky Derby.
Former
boy.
champ Kerry Nolden has had a spin.
Yeah, he sure did. right down in Brooklyn's.
He was trying to. He had Ben Scott to negotiate with, and Ashley Howell. I think he just lost concentration, just made a mistake. Look like Sean.
Saltalamacchia spun right behind him going into Brooklyn's. He was off track too.
I think iRacing may have snuck in something in the new build there. Didn't oil on the track? Didn't tell us about it.
Well, no, Brooklyn's is very tricky. That's a tough left-hander there. You've got to get it down to second gear real quick. You're coming all the way from about fourth or fifth gear into Brooklyn's, that left-hander, and it's very, very tricky. It is slick, Sue.
So Nolden is in. He's going to come out. Let's watch this if we can see Nolden. He's going to come out. Remember, he was fighting with Newton. And I think between the spin that Nolden had and the bad pit stop that Scott Newton had, they end up back on the track together. Osterkamp out in front by 2.2 seconds, but he's not getting away from Acio Tellas.
No, that gap really not. In fact, Tellas had he had the fastest lap of the race last time around.
If Acio we don't know about the pit stop strat, how good he's going to be. Rookies, it's always rough when they have to do a stop. You don't know how good they're going to be. And then you don't know if Osterkamp has suffered some damage that iRacing is going to make him take a longer stop. Nienhuis running in third. Koch running in fourth. Nolden was in this mix, but remember he had that spin.
And Soup, at about the 15-minute mark here right now, I see we've got 21 drivers still on the lead lap, but we still have drivers, a lot of drivers, needing to make that pit stop.
Yeah, Ben Scott is one of them. I think he's probably going to fall a lap down when he makes that stop. Sarah Dove and Jeroen Dick Ortel, it's going to be hard-pressed for them to get out as well. They're still on the lead lap, but have yet to make a stop. Sarah Dove running 47 seconds behind the leaders right now. I guess that's about 25 seconds off. She has a chance to stay on the lead lap.
Now, Soup, the pit delta is just under about 30 seconds. You've got Christian to catch back there, still carving his way back up through the field. He is about 30.3 seconds back right now.
We're going to get a good indication right now because deciding to bite the bullet is Gunnar Nienhuis, who's come into pit. He was running in third. But remember, To Catch was running fifth when he came in, and he was running these guys down. To Catch is on the main straight right now. Let's see if he can catch Gunnar. Is Gunnar out yet looking for where we are? Gunnar is out. Gunnar is out in front of To Catch. Gunnar comes out in front of Lee Robinson, who still needs to pit, in front of Sudden Strike to right. To Catch about, I'm going to guess, about 3 seconds back. That was really good news for Nienhuis. And there's McLeod who had a spin.
Yeah, and that was a second spin for McLeod. Oh, and that was so close down there in Abbey. Traffic gets by him. That was Patrick Kessler and Robert Taylor that get by cleanly, and McLeod gets back to power. Does not damage the car, but again, that was the second time we've seen him go around today. And he currently sitting in sixth, does need to pit.
Leader is coming in. That gives the lead over to Cinderella. Acio Tellas going to stay out there, run that tank dry. Osterkamp now beginning to roll. He's going to come out that's Kessler, but Kessler still needs to make a stop. Kessler comes out right behind him. Fourth position for Osterkamp. He's the leader of all the cars who pitted. Once we get Kessler out of the way, things will clear up. Watch out, though. This is Osterkamp. We stay on this for a minute. He's negotiating with Taylor. Robert Taylor taking a nice inside line. He lets those guys go by.
That's a nice move by Taylor there. Kessler, on the other hand, not wanting to give much to Osterkamp as he got by there.
Our leader from Brazil decides to stay out one more time as we have just over 12 minutes to race. That fuel tank has to be emptier than a syrup bottle after a pancake social. Right now, he's got Stevie Chambers to get around. Of course, I'm talking about Alessio Tejas. Welcome to the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, Alessio Tejas, as you are out in front.
Yeah, by about 2.5 seconds right now, and the Brazilian driver having a great run here to get started. He gets by Stevie Chambers. Stevie lets him go, and the Brazilian with a nice debut here today on a Friday evening.
Koch and Reed run second and third. They still need to come in as well. Oosterkamp was 21 seconds behind the leader that last time. Can the Brazilian get in and out and hold the lead? We'll find out, I would think, next time around. Right now, here he comes, your leader coming in.
Yeah, Koch gonna follow him in. Ooh.
Oosterkamp through Brooklands now. Through Luffield. Now he's getting the full throttle down. He works his way through 10. Our leader just getting into a stall right now. Oosterkamp going across the start-finish line. Leader begins to roll. Oosterkamp is full song. He gets him.
Oh,
Tejas out.
Boy,
Oh my, just in front of Ty McLeod, Sean.
yeah, they were fighting, getting out there. Tejas and McLeod wheel to wheel across the pit line exit there. Tejas is going to be the victor, though, and he's got a ways to go to catch Oosterkamp now.
To catch has a spin. He's going to loop it around. I think he's going to get it out pretty quickly. I don't think he's going to lose a position. He's going to remain in 6th position. Remember, he was 5th before the pit stop, but I still think we have one more driver that still needs to come in. That's Phil Reed. So he's going to be right back where he finished. After the pit cycle, though, the big loser is our point leader, Gunnar Nienhaus. He's now fallen back to 5th right now, 4th overall once we get Reed out of the way. Nienhaus has lost the position to Koch.
Yeah, Nienhaus a good full 5 seconds back to Oosterkamp right now, Soup. That's tough to make up.
Oosterkamp in his box for 3.9 seconds. Tejas in his box for 3.9 seconds. Koch 4.2. And now, finally, our leader comes in. Phil Reed, he'll fall down the order considerably. 5th, 6th, 7th right now as he continues to drop. See how the running order is. Reed looks like he's going to come out in 6th position, just ahead of Kerry Nolden. So now, with all the pit stops completed, let's run down your top 10 as they run. René Oosterkamp, he's got to be happy. 2.7 seconds ahead of him. It's pit stop behind him, 2.7 seconds. The gap between him and the second place driver, Alessio Tejas from Brazil, the newcomer. 1.4 seconds back to third place driver Christian Koch. Then you drop back to the man who started in 3rd position, has fallen back 2 spots, or 1 spot, Gunnar Nienhaus. You have a couple lapped cars to get through. Quite a battle here. It's Dometer and Taylor and McLeod and DeRike, but we got to go them before we get back to 5th place driver Christian to catch. He had that spin, didn't lose a position. Phil Reed has made his pit stop. He's come out about 1.5 seconds ahead of Kerry Nolden, who's running in 7th. Scott Newton running in 8th. About 6.5 seconds ahead of Lee Robinson. Good run from Lee. Lee started 22nd, Sean, up to 10th.
Yeah, wow. Great job by Lee today.
Then rounding out your top 10, Patrick Kessler. We'll keep an eye on that Robinson. He's got about 1.8 seconds on Kessler. So there you have it, with about just over 7 minutes left of racing to go. Sean, what's it look like for the last car on the lead lap? Who are we looking at?
Right now, the last car on the lead lap, Soup. After that cycle of pit stops, actually, looks like it's Vittorio Saltalamacchia, actually.
No, it might be Chambers or possibly
Nope.
even Sarah Dove.
No, you're...
Dove is a lap down and she pitting. Okay, we're going to look at
that's the line.
Stevie
I'm sorry.
Chambers. Stevie Chambers, 57 seconds off the lead. That's about 18 seconds difference between him and the man who's about to lap him with 6 minutes to go. I think the Flying V probably feeling pretty good right now. Daniel Morris would be his partner if things continue to race as they are right now. We look at Osterkamp running in first. Maybe we can check in on 17th position. This is Gianni Vecchio, the man who's seen his share of action. Right now he's running 17th. If that position holds, he'll be starting inside of row 2. Morris back there in 18th was starting on the outside of row 1. The man I think we got to watch out for, Sean, for the sprint race, I would like Jeroen de Cortel. Remember, he had that incident. He's going to be starting if things go the way they are right now, outside of row 2. He's a guy that has the pace to win one of those.
Yeah, the Scandinavian is very, very quick, and weren't for a little bit of bad luck there in the start. We might be talking about him as one of those drivers that moved all the way up through the field, so definitely keep an eye on him.
Let's go to 14th. I think we have a nice battle here. This is Urka Lindstrom in a battle with Evan Emre. Right ahead of the guys we were looking at.
Yeah, Emre giving chase. Got nothing for him here yet. They just got out of Abbey down to Farm Straight. On their way to Priory here.
They've been racing together the whole race. Lindstrom, though, started in 29th, up 14th. He's up 15 spots as well. Another good run from him. Boy, there are battles all the way through
yeah.
The way through. Director, can we go to 27th if you can find this one? This is a battle with Scott. These guys are a lap down, but my spidey senses were tingling. Christian Kranich just made the pass on Ben Scott. I had a bad feeling about it, but they were able to get it worked out. 4.5 minutes left of racing, Sean.
Yeah, this has felt a bit like a sprint race today, hasn't it, Sue?
Yeah.
I think it's this track, this configuration that really lends to it. And in the pre-race, I talked about how fast it was. You're really on the pedal for a long time here. But when you got to get on the brakes, you're on them hard. And as I said, the technical session's very, very technical. Abbey, one of the toughest hairpins in probably all of racing. A very, very tricky hairpin. We've seen our share of trouble down there today.
I believe when we go to 6th position, I believe Reed and Nolden are teammates. Are they not both for Aperture Racing? Here they are running nose to tail. This is how you win a team championship. Just putting in the numbers here. Aperture going to bring it home 6th and 7th. 2 cars inside the top 10. They are the point leader for teams right now. We can see them. That's Dometer getting out of the way.
Hey, good battle for 21st. Robert Taylor and Adam Tierney. They're wheel to wheel right now. Tierney giving good chase. Taylor just got by him. That is a battle again, like I said, for 21st. But woo, Tierney gets a little wild there. Taylor going to fight back at him.
Tierney had a good run last time. Got Quantum inside the top 10 for his team. The battle for second. Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
No, please go.
Second, third, and fourth, really not much going on out there. Aisio Talius about a second ahead of Koch, who's about a second ahead of Nienhaus. They're not really within striking distance of each other or the leader. Osterkamp with about a 2-second gap. You know, Sean, what's interesting? Osterkamp has had about a 2-second gap this entire race.
Yeah,
it's kind of like watching a basketball game where one team has a great first quarter, and then they're paced all the way through, 15 points behind.
and I know it's small, I know it's slight, but start paying attention to that here. We got 2 laps remaining this time by, and Tellez is starting to chip away just a little bit, Soup, but I don't know if there's enough time for it to matter.
What'll be interesting is they'll be inverted. They're going to put, when they do the sprint race, they'll all 4 be together, but in the opposite order that they're running right now. I guess the guy who approves of that would be Gunnar Niehaus. He'd be ahead of those 3 guys that he's been chasing. To catch and read. It's going to be great from the back. 19 cars on the lead lap right now. It looks like Stevie Chambers is going to be the pole sitter if he can hang on.
I know he's not going to mind that at all.
Daniel Morris, and there's Morris again. That's that Red Devil team that continues. That's to catch his partner. That Red Devil team continues to be a force to catch in the Drivers' Championship, and then Red Devil now moved up into 2nd, looking to close in on Aperture. The question is, are there more points for 2nd and 18th than there are for 6th and 7th? I think 6th and 7th probably paying a little more right now for the Aperture guys.
Yeah, I think so.
But the good news is they get Morris back up at the front for Red Devil. He'll be starting. Good point stay coming in the sprint races. He can bring it home. 29 seconds left on the clock as our leader just went across the start-finish line, so I'm assuming we're going to get the white flag. It's out. Here we go. The white flag is going to show. We're going to go back. We're going to watch the leader. We'll go back and watch this battle. My goodness, look at this battle back here for 14th position. This is Emery out in front, Lindstrom, but the real battle is behind them. That's Quartel, who's going to lose the spot to Vecchio. Gianni Vecchio again picks up another position.
Yeah, it takes it away from Giroud to Quartel. Had trouble early, but Quartel's done a great job to fight back, Soup, and get right back to where he started, 17th place. But Vecchio he's been one to watch today, hasn't he?
That's a good news, bad news type thing, as he gets that extra points, but now he's going to have to start behind him in the sprint race. Working his way through left field, number 9, the 9th corner there, through 10. Give round number 8, the feature race winner is going to go to René Osterkamp. 2nd place, the newcomer from Brazil, Aisio Talles. Christian Koch gets 3rd. Your points leader, Gunnar Niehaus, is going to get 4th. He had a spin, but it didn't slow him down. Christian Tkach is going to get 5th. Let's go to P11 right now as we're looking at this battle. This is White being chased by Jean-Francois Godin. Godin going to go wide, trying to get to the inside here as they work through this sweeping right-hander that sets up. I don't think Godin is going to have enough to get there. 11th position is going to go to White because the start-finish line comes up pretty quick. Godin gets 12th. Knut Martinsen, 13th. Emery's going to get 14th. Lindstrom, 15th. Vecchio, 16th. Quartel, 17th. And it looks like, Sean, our front row, outside of row number 1, if the holds the way we think, Daniel Morris. And on the pole, the flying V, little Stevie Chambers.
Little Stevie Chambers, that's right. Did a good job to hang on to it there, Soup.
Okay, at this point, GSRC is going to step away for just a moment, but will return during the break between the feature and the sprint race to run down the entire feature race results and talk to a few of the drivers. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, round number 8 from Silverstone. You know, the best part of any doubleheader event is the break between races. It's the perfect blend of post-race high and pre-race jitters. So let's take this opportunity to run down the finishing order of the feature race that just concluded. Our winner, he is a veteran of the series. He started second. Going to come home in first, René Oosterkamp. Here is something interesting. First race, welcome to the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. The Brazilian, Aicia Tellas, going to come home in second. Christian Koch, Gunnar Nienhaus go third and fourth. Rounding out your top 5, Christian Tkech up 4 positions. Phil Reed and Kerry Nolden go 6th and 7th for Aperture Racing. Scott Newton, 8th position. Patrick Kessler and Lee Robinson, not your hard charger, but nevertheless up, my goodness, 12 spots from 22nd to 10th. Rounds out your top 10. Sean?
All right, then you'll fall back to 11th, where you'll find Luke White with a big run there, and he'll finish 11th. Jean-Francois Godin, I've said it a million times, and I can't believe it messed that up. He'll finish 12th. He started 26th, Soup.
Remember, it's cops, not corpse. Okay.
Right. That's right. And we've got our old friend Newt Martinson going to finish 13th today. 14th is going to go to Evan Imre. Urka Lidstrom, 15th. Gianni Vecchio, 16th. Jeroen de Quartel, 17th. Daniel Morris, 18th. Stevie Chambers, 19th. He was the last car on the lead lap. And then you're going to Adam Tierney. He'll finish 20th.
Hidden Blackjack, Lawrence Sudden Strike to right. Double duck position goes to Robert Taylor. Bruno Dometer and Ty McLeod are next, 23rd and 24th. Quarter century mark. Boy, she had some troubles today. Sarah Dove going to be back there in 25th. 26th, 27th, and 28th goes to Christian Kanich, Ben Scott, and Victorio Sal Talamacchia. 29th and 30th, Ashley Howell and the Milkman, Andy Cowie. Sean?
All right, and then the end of the field is going to be today. Alexander Waldo, 31st. 32nd, Elaine Philippe Andre. Christoph Holstein, going to finish 33rd. 34th, Emmanuel Hoyer. And Michael Mittner, after some early trouble, he'll finish 35th.
And, you know, you talk about Mittner. My dad would say he's a package of disappointment wrapped in potential. We have such good expectations of him when we first see him, and he just can't seem to get the points that are equal to his talent. Right now, though, let's go ahead and talk to somebody. Started 24th. He made his way up 13 spots to finish in 11th. I think he's got to be pretty happy with that. And of course, we're talking about Luke White. Luke, congratulations. Good result today.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll take that.
Let's talk a little bit about Silverstone here in this short version. Sean and I thought it put on a pretty good show. Of course, we're watching from the commentator's booth. How did it feel out on the track?
Awesome. Obviously we've got some really, really talented drivers, but with a track like this where there's only 2 corners where people can really make their mark, the whole field was kept within a second for a lot of it, especially through qualifying. It was ridiculous, which is why you saw some of the names jumbled about. I think Kerry Nolden qualified quite low down for his standards, so with this layout it pushed everyone together, and it made the racing really good.
How'd the tires feel early on? Did they come in quick enough for you?
Yeah, they came alive after about 2 or 3 laps. But it's difficult because you can't push too hard because you've got the fuel and you've got the quick first corner. Cops, I believe it is. God, it's terrible. I should know that.
Could be corpse.
I think there were a few actually. Yeah. But when you've got a heavy fuel load and you're pushing through there, you've got to be really careful for the first few laps. But then when you've got light fuel and warm tyres, it's awesome. Brilliant track to go around.
Well, how do you feel about the guys around you? You got Kessler and Robinson going to be starting in front of you. You got Godet and Knut Martinson behind you. You've got to feel pretty good racing with those guys. They seem to be the guys you race. They are around you a lot of the time.
Yeah. Robinson and Newt. Kessler and Goodin will probably have their way with us, and I will just try and get in front of Robinson and keep myself in front of Martinson and let the other 2 drag me along a bit, or I'll just try and keep myself in front somehow. But Godin caught me up about 2 seconds in the last 5 laps and almost got me on the last lap. I managed to hold him off a bit. I don't know if you saw it, but that was quite cool.
Well, good luck. You got the fast guys. Try to stay out of the way when they're coming through. There's a lot of them back there this time, Luke.
I know. I'll try.
All right. Good luck to you in the sprint race.
Cheers, buddy. Take care.
Luke White, your 11th place finisher, and we think he's going to be gridding in the 9th spot. Is that, are we done here on this part? I think that's it. So, all right. So what we're going to do right now is we'll take a short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll be back to cover the feature race that will be starting soon. 25 laps, 25 minutes, no pit stop. It's a sprint race, inverted start. Be back soon. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, round number 8 from Silverstone. The feature race is in the books, and the winner was Renault Oosterkamp. Now we turn our attention to the 25-minute sprint race that's going to be coming up here in about 5 minutes, a little even less than that. They have the inverted grid where we're going to put all the cars that finished on the lead lap. We'll invert those, and that's going to put one of our favorite drivers, fan favorite certainly, Stevie Chambers, up on the front row in the pole position. Sean, the tires seem to have come in pretty quickly. The track lays out pretty good. I think if they can just avoid the issues through 3 and 4, I think we might have a good one in store for us here.
I wish we had Stevie Chambers mic'd up, honestly, when this race starts. Honestly, I think that would be good. I think that would be good theater. He's going to have a pack of hounds behind him, trying to take that spot from him, and I can't wait to see how he reacts to that and how far ahead he can actually get. If he can get a good jump, it's very possible that they could all get tangled up behind him, and it could be off to some smooth sailing for Stevie. But we'll see, Soup. It's going to be a great race. We saw the speed of this circuit in the feature, and like we talked about in the pre-race, and like our interview just talked about here a few minutes ago, it is a lot of speed on it for a long time. But when you get slowed down quickly, and everybody gets just so close to each other. The difference in time here, we're talking hundredths of a second between the competition, and everybody fighting for that same piece of real estate. This 25-minute sprint race is really going to amp things up. Again, I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, well, if you think about 25 minutes of racing and lap times at about 1:15, you guys watching on the YouTube chat, if you want to get out your calculators, figure it. I'm going to guess that's going to be about 19-20 laps of racing. If you are the guys in the back, like Oosterkamp and Koch and the newcomer there, Tejas, you got to figure you got to get about a car a lap, a position a lap, if you hope to get up to the lead before this thing is over. So it's really challenging for us as commentators as we want to cover the action up front, but then the real story, Sean, is also the fast guys working their way through the field and who can survive. And again, we're talking not just driver points, but you're talking team points as well. You want to score for your team. You want to try to make the best you can for the day. Maybe you don't need a win. Maybe all you need is a 4th or a 5th.
True. Maybe you only need to charge as hard as you need to charge and keep the car safe. But, man, there are going to be some guys out here who have got to get to the front, want to get to the front, need to get to the front because of their current point situation. And that's going to be Katie bar the door, the old bull in the china shop, sir. You're going to have to watch out because, as we saw, working in traffic with only a couple of really good passing opportunities here is going to be a trick, and it's going to happen at light speed.
Has this been my experience dealing with drivers that have talent that are used to finishing up front? It's just the brain chemistry. It's just not in their nature to be happy with 4th position. They like to win no matter what the case is, and sometimes it's hard for them to see big picture that 5th place is all I really need to win the day, because that's all you want to do. We put that graphic up at the beginning of each broadcast in the Countdown to Green pre-race show that shows you who actually was the high scorer for the day. And a lot of times, Sean, the winner is not a guy who actually has a race win under. It's the guy who finishes 3rd in the feature and 4th in the sprint, It's all big picture.
It's definitely big picture while I find the right button here on my pad, Sue. It's definitely big picture, and the window is small though for this one. As we wrap up this warm-up session, you're going to see a real challenge here. Head down into turn 1, but I think Beckett's turn 4 is really we're going to start to see that real jockey for position on the opening lap, and everybody trying to maybe find a little separation there for that first long trip through the international straight. Because once you get down to turn 5, as we know as Abbey, the rest of the way through turn 10, it is going to be avoid the guy next to you at speed.
I'm going to use that technique next time my wife is telling me some long story that I zone out on and she finishes and I haven't been paying attention. I'm going to say, oh, sorry, honey, I was pressing the wrong button. That's why I didn't answer. See if she'll go with it. I thought I was boring you there for a second, Sean.
You owed me that one. That's good. That's
all right.
Good.
Let's run down the grid. We'll do it 10 at a time this time since we're kind of in a hurry. We don't have a lot of time to get through it. On the pole, Stevie Chambers, Daniel Morris outside of him. Row 2, Jerome De Quartel, Gianni Vecchio. Boy, he's Mr. Excitement so far. Eric Lindstrom and Evan Emre in row 3. Row 4, Knut Martinson and Jean-Francois Godin. Luke White and Lee Robinson, row 5. Sean?
All right, row 6, Patrick Kessler, Scott Newton. Row 7, Kerry Nolan, Phil Reed. Row 8, Christian Tkach, Gunnar Niehaus. Row 9, Christian Koch, Acio Teles. 18th, the Brazilian driver. 19th, going to go to Rene Osterkamp. Rounding out row 10, Adam Tierney.
Adam Tierney, the only driver not to finish up front, but he's pretty fast anyway. Robert Taylor, Ty McLeod, the next row, Sarah Dove and Christian Kranich back there, 23rd and 24th. Ben Scott, Victorio Saltalamacchio make up the next row. Ashley Howell, the Milkman, Andy Cowie in 28th. Alexander Baldo and Christoph Holstein. I'll just round out these last few rows here. Manuel Hoyer, Lawrence Suddenstrike to right, Alain Felipe Andre, and Bruno Dometer, 34 drivers. You can hear the engine start to harmonize, and there we go. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because once again, the horses are out of the barn, and this time Stevie Chambers leads the stampede into the first corner. Daniel Morris in second. De Quartel in third. Look at the battle going on behind as they race in diamond position. Look at that battle for third. That's Vecchio in the yellow car. He's going to negotiate. He gets that spot. Vecchio up into third. De Quartel in fourth. Boy, it is so close back there. Godin going off now on the high side. That is
Daniel Morris. Yeah, Morris gets off at a turn 4 as Beckett's has a lot of trouble getting back on. The whole field gets by him.
So far, so good as they line up now coming into Abbey. This is where it's going to be tough. Be careful, boys. So far, so good. A little bit of bumping and bagging. One car spins off. That is Tejas. That's our second place finisher. Victorio Saltalamacchio does a good job of not getting into him, but there's the first top runner that's had trouble. But he's going to be able to complete the race, though. He didn't get in any problem, but now he has fallen way back. Not only between all the guys he was racing with in the feature, but between all the guys that were a lap down in the feature as well, as he moves way to the back. Up in front, completing lap number 1. He's able to hang on to the lead. It's Stevie Chambers up by 1.3 seconds. Vecchio, Quartel, Godin, Emre, round out your top 5, Sean.
Yeah, Phil Reed battling. He just got passed by Gunnar Niehaus. Niehaus off to a great start, already up 3 spots to 13.
We'll keep an eye on Niehaus. Remember, he was fast. He did not win the feature race, but he had the pace to race with the big guys. We look at it right now there. We're looking at Gunnar all the way up to 13th position. So fast, Sean. My gosh.
Oh, another spinner. Vittorio Saltalamacchio off the track. Coming out of maggots.
He was racing near the back, so I don't think that's going to be too costly to any of the other drivers. They remain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as reported earlier. We look at it right now. The guy that is under pressure right now is the driver in second position. Vecchio is really being challenged by Quartel. De Quartel, Sean, we thought might be one of the favorites in here, but look at this. Here comes also Godin is watching back there as well. We ride on board with Vecchio, looking back at the cars that are chasing him.
I know that's a good battle there, but I'll tell you what, this is an absolute hornet's nest back here for 20th and on back.
We watch it there. Let's go up front. Chambers is now under pressure. He's able to fend off. He has lost Vecchio, has been able to run him down. Chambers much have made a mistake He had a nice lead. Yeah, it was going into one. He had a little bit of a wide entrance into one. And now here he comes. Here comes Vecchio. Boy, he has had all his money's worth as far as excitement right now. He's in the preferred position as they go into corner number 5. This is Abbey. This is the hairpin that takes them back onto the familiar part of the track and give the lead to Giovanni Vecchio. Going really wide back there is the French-Canadian Jean-Francois Godin, but he gathers it up. Decourtel running in third. Chambers is not done yet, though, with Vecchio trying to fight back. That battle from Chambers now is going to cost him some momentum, and he falls back into the clutches of Courtel. Emre has made his way up to 5th. Luke White in 6th.
Yeah, and then you go back to 7th. Erka Lindstrom leading a train of about 10 cars right now. This is the battle. Lindstrom trying to hold off Lee Robinson. Here comes Robinson to the inside, heading down into turn 1.
And also the car, you saw him 2x2 a little farther back, that was to catch, also trying to make a move. We follow. This is Kessler in the battle. This is to catch back there. They go side by side.
Kerry Nolan putting the pressure on Lindstrom, trying to get through. They make it out of Beckett's.
Nienhuis has had an incident.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it happens in Maggots. Nienhuis gets around. I think he might have had a little bit of help.
Osterkamp gave him a tap, but then trying to avoid him was putting on the binders, and that's what got into him was the car of Andre, who locked it up, saw way ahead. He's on the brakes. The car wouldn't turn once he was on the brakes and right into Nienhuis. Osterkamp gave Nienhuis a little bit of a turn, and then Andre smacked him.
Wow, lots going on here in the early stages of this race.
Nienhuis
completed 5 minutes.
Nienhuis has made his way up to about 12th position and was really on the move. The top 5 continue to race in the same order that we reported before. Looking for the driver on the move, I would think. Nolden is up to 8th. To catch is in 12th.
Oh, and to catch is off wide coming out of turn 1. He leads this group with Osterkamp, Knut Martinsen, Ty McLeod, Scott Newton, just a gaggle of cars here on the chase. Oh, they're all locking them up, coming down into the turn.
That's really fun what we're watching right now. We keep one eye on that bat, one eye on the lead. I think we better go back to the lead real quick because there's a battle for second position. This is Chambers being challenged by Decourtel. Courtel will have the preferred position. Chambers able to close the door. Right in the mix back there, the last car, that's Godin. They don't want to spend too long battling with Chambers. They don't want to lose touch with Vecchio, who's out in front. Chambers doing a good job of fending off Decourtel. Now they head down the front straight. Now this is where Decourtel can get a little bit of a tow. Let's see if Stevie takes a defensive line. He's going to stay out. There's a little bit of a drift. He's going to have to surrender the inside into Copps, and it looks like the pass is going to be made. Move up into second spot is Courtel. Fighting back, though, not surrendering the Casper is Chambers. He continues to fight back. They race in formation right now. Chambers has nowhere to go. And not only is he going to lose that position for third, now I think he's going to battle. He's going to lose it for fourth as well. Here comes Godin trying to get a nose in there. They can't do it. Loving the whole thing is Evan Emre back there watching from the popcorn position. Ducking to the inside now. Give that spot. I think he's finally going to be able to do it. Gordon's going to be able to close the door. No, Chambers fights back. But now as they come into bridge, I think the preferred position is going to go to Godin. Can he close it? But not yet, because this is how Silverstone works. It weaves back now to the left. Chambers has the preferred spot. Godin fighting now as they get to this big right-hander sweeping that is Luffield. I certainly think Godin's going to get it, and we have a spin from Nolden has had a spin back in 17th. He got collected by Lee Robinson.
Yeah, actually, though, I think it did start with Nolden, actually. Nolden getting a little bit too much of the inside curb there. The car went straight up in the air, and Lee Robinson actually gets him trying to get by.
And Knut Martinsen also got into some problems with Scott Newton. We're seeing not the big one, Sean, but we're seeing lots of crumbs.
Yeah, boy, and so many cars got by him there. Phil Reed, man, if we can ever get a shot on board with Phil Reed, he almost picks up heavy damage on Martinson there. Let's look at it from Phil Reed's car. You're on board. It's gonna develop right here in front of him. He is just barely gonna get by right there.
So, we're going to look at Robinson here as well. Oh, Martinson. This is Knut Martinson. A little bit of a tap there. And now we come back live. Let's catch our breath and tell you what's going on. Vecchio out in front by 2.4 seconds. Cortell, once he got around Chambers, he's able to stretch it out now and try to run down Vecchio. Godin has also got around Chambers in third. Chambers back there now trying to fight off the next guys. Let me correct myself. Chambers has fallen back behind Emery, who's got around him. So Stevie now in fifth, trying to hold off Luke White, our mid-event interview. White in sixth. Kessler running in seventh, up 4 spots. Now here's the first of the big names is Christian Koch. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, you know, it's so many battles. Is your head on a swivel yet? There are so many battles to follow. I'm following one back here in 17th. You've got Kranich leading that, but Hoyer and Newton are really, really struggling to get along right now, and they're bringing Phil Reed along with him for the ride here. This has been exciting to watch these four go at it. It's like a symphony. Watching them work here.
Continue to work their way through. There is fighting going on everywhere. That battle, 18th, and there's he gonna get it? That's
Newton getting through.
Newton, but they're not done behind him. Kranich and Hoyer, they continue battle. Watching the one, Phil Reed is in the very back. Reed really fast, running in 20th right now. Let's stay on this a minute. Let's see what Phil does. Is he gonna duck into the inside? Now that's Hoyer going to try to work on the inside of Kranich. He gets it, and Reed, as I thought would, follows Hoyer through.
Now, Soup, we've made the call. We got a battle for second here.
This is Cortell. Cortell on this is Godin on the inside. He gets that pass made, so move Godin up into second position. Cortell back to third. Let me give you the interval to the lead. 3 seconds to Vecchio. Emre is fourth. Drop back to fifth position if we can. We can look at this. This is Chambers trying to hang on, trying to do the best he can. He's got White behind him, and now Kessler has run him down.
Yeah, he's trying. He's digging hard, too, Soup. He really is.
But, Sean, the big boys are coming.
Yeah, they are.
8th and 9th, Koch and Overcamp.
Yeah, they're back there. They're in the mirror now. Soup, by the way, I just want you to know, everybody to know, we have called in counselors for the friends and families of all the cones. They will be meeting with them after the race. The Cone Twitter account is blowing up. I think we'll break the internet today.
You can see White on screen. He was able to make that pass on Chambers. So Chambers loses another one, dropped down to 6th. Chambers in that yellow and blue AOR podcast machine. And I see a little GSRC on there as well, thanks to that. Kessler in 7th. Give you the interval. Here comes Kessler making a move now on Chambers.
Watch out.
Kessler has 2 things to worry about. He'd like to get around the Flying V, little Stevie, because here comes Koch now. We talked about him, Sean, and they're there, Koch and Osterkamp.
And you know Osterkamp is ready to come on through. Yeah, he's got to wait for his opportunity, though. You can't get impatient here.
Right on board with Osterkamp. I can just report that Vecchio's lead, he's opened it up to 3.3 seconds now, with 12 minutes of racing left. think we could be seeing a first-time winner if everything goes according to plan for Vecchio. Continue to watch that battle for 7th. There's single file there a little bit. What you're looking at, you can just see it there. That's Kessler working on Stevie Chambers. And now Kessler's going to get him. Going into Abbey. That's put Chambers on the outside. Now Chambers tries to get a good fight. What'll happen is Koch and Osterkamp will follow Chambers through the technical session, then get a run down the main straight, and we'll see if they can both get the flying V.
Great battle for position back here in 14th. DeRike, Andy Cowie, the milkman going at it. It's DeRike getting by Andy Cowie. Cowie, though, fighting back. They've got Christian to catch right in front of him.
And DeRike is your hard charger. He's up a ton of positions.
Something he's up 18 spots, yeah.
Let's go to Chambers again. It's getting tight up here. He was able to fend off down the main straight, but now ducking in as they work down, heading into Maggots. Right on the outside is Koch. That's not going to work. Now they go through the cutoff section. Go ahead, Sean.
Sorry, Soup to catch has a big mistake in the front straight. He hits the pylons, has a slowdown penalty for that. Allows 4 positions to get by.
And while Sean was talking about that, you can see Koch was able to get the move. Oh, that's going to be a double move now. Stevie Chambers going to lose 1 spot. Nope. Osterkamp cannot follow him through. Chambers down to 8th. Move Koch up to 7th. Next on his list is Kessler. That might be a harder fish to reel in.
Boy, Osterkamp really having trouble pulling off a pass through this pack of cars, isn't he?
Spent most of his time out in clean air in the feature race, having a little trouble right now. Stevie Chambers racing clean, but not making it easy. Let's go down the main straight. Let's take what kind of line Chambers takes. He's going to stay to the outside. That's going to let Osterkamp try to tuck in if he wanted to. He doesn't. Check in on that gap to the leader, 2.4 seconds between Vecchio and Godin. Cortelli
Stevie Chambers spinning. Stevie Chambers spinning in Beckett's.
Right in front of Osterkamp.
Osterkamp had the pressure on him. Little Stevie Chambers spins it.
He loses the position to McLeod and to Tierney, to Lindstrom. Drops down to 12th position.
That's a shame. Now he's in a battle with who was that? Sudden Strike to right, getting by him, trying to complete the pass.
Koch has just made it around Kessler. Koch now up to 6th spot. Kessler down to 7th. 8.5 minutes of racing left. Don't know if Koch has enough to get to Vecchio, but maybe a podium. Next on Koch's hit list will be 5th place, Luke White. Luke has got to be happy with his day. We talked about him. We had the pre-race, the mid-race interview there on the break. He had a great finish in the feature, and he's up more spots now, up into 5th from 9th. Been going the right direction the entire event. We're looking at Osterkamp might have had an issue. Sure enough, it was a self-spin.
Yeah, and it looked like it was coming out of Beckett's. Boy, so much trouble there today.
Right in front of Ty McLeod. Osterkamp did a great job, though. After the spin, he had visions of doing a donut and getting the car going back straight again. He hit the brakes, cost him several positions, but saved Ty McLeod's day.
Right, exactly. And really, really smart driving there by Rene Osterkamp. That could have just been really treacherous for anybody right behind him, and he did the good thing there, just keeping the car where it was, staying put.
7 minutes to go. Let's check back in on our leader real quick. The gap was, what did I say? It was about 2.5. Well, now it's down to 1.8. Here comes Jean-Francois Godin, knocking off about a half second per lap. And it's really not a case, I don't think, of Vecchio slowing down. I think Godin's really picking him up. He's got 2.5 seconds back to Quartel. Well, mind that gap. It just continues to close up.
Adam Tierney back here trying to overtake Tom McLeod. They're side by side, heading to Abbey. Tierney trying to get it done on the outside. Can't do it from there, but almost gets that wheel in. He does. He gets
Careful,
up next
boys.
to him.
Oh, my shot. How's it going to play out there? Look at that inside position.
Got to get back to the right here real quick.
Tierney fighting back. They continue to go side by side. Now McLeod with the advantage on the outside. He should have the momentum. And he got it, I think.
Yeah, Tierney gets the advantage across the line, but McLeod's not letting him go here, Soup. This is going to be a good battle right down to the end.
All right, now, Koch was just in a battle with Emery, behind Emery and Kessler back there in 6th and 7th. But Koch now has caught up to Luke White, our break interview that we had. And it won't be long till the former champion gobbles him up, I think. All that going on. We can stay there. The gap is down to 1 second for the lead. We look at Koch running in 5th. That's a battle for 4th. That's 0.3 of a second. I think what's going to happen here is they work their way through 8. Then they'll go through the sweeping right-hander of Luffield. And then watch Christian get a good run. And we'll see what type of line that Luke White takes. Here we go. Now the racing line comes across because it kind of curves here through corner number 10. Now it eases out. Let's see if the guy in the back, that's Koch, can get a run into 1. He's coming. He's gobbling. He's got it down. Could only get within 1 car length. He's going to have to wait. The gap to the lead down to 0.6 of a second now. Stay on board. Looking back at White.
Kessler pulled off a pass on Evan Imre back here. Got himself up to 6th.
And this is one of those cases, Sean, that we talked about where Koch was not able to win the feature race, but with this good result that he had here and the good result in the feature race, he could easily be the points winner for the day, running 5th right now.
Certainly trying to set himself up that way right now. Yeah, this battle is getting intense here. Godin has basically, he's caught him. It's just a matter right now with about 3 laps. You're going to have 3 laps left here across the line, Soup. And nothing is safe to Vecchio now.
They come across with 3:16 on the clock. I think Sean is correct. Now look back. Here's the battle with White. We saw this, and I think the Koch is finally going to be able to get this done. And he does. Move Koch up to 4th. Now we go back up to the lead. Now, if you do this just on reputation, you've got to give the nod to Godin. He is actually a champion from several seasons back. Looking now to make the pass. Vecchio doing his best. He's in the preferred position. He's going to have to take the wide way around, and that's Godin. Vecchio comes across his nose. Here comes Godin again now. As they're going to head in, it'll be a right-hander. That's going to be good for Vecchio. Vecchio in the yellow car out in front, but now it switches back. Godin tries to hang in there. Vecchio gets a good run, able to close the door. Not going to happen this time. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle from Godin. They work through the sweeping corner number 9. Now they head off. Skinny pedal goes down to the floor. I think a pretty good drive off from Vecchio. I don't know if the French Canadian's going to have time to get there. He's gobbling him up. 2 car lanes, 1 car lane. Taking a defensive line is Vecchio. Closes the door. He's not going to be able to do it. Godin looking for some way around. 2 to go from here. Now trying to go to the outside. Getting some momentum, I think. Is it the champion going to be able to do it? He's out in front. Can he finish the job? I say yes. New leader, Jean-Francois Godin. Vecchio drops back into second position. Decourtel racing all by himself back there in third.
Vecchio trying to put the pressure here on Godin. Question is, can he rattle him? I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Well, if he's close enough, if he can stay close enough here, look at this. He's going to dive it down in deep, and that's going to force Godin to take a wide line. Not the best line through that corner. Now, if Vecchio can stay close enough, here they come up to left field again. If Vecchio can get a good drive off of here, you don't want to use your momentum up too early. He might have got there too soon and had to check up a bit. He's about, a car and a half lengths back. Now about 2 car lengths back as they head down the straight. Vecchio could force the issue. He's closing. I don't know if he's going to be able to get there. He won't have another opportunity in corner 1 as we are on the white flag right now.
Oh, and Vecchio gets a little bit too much of that outside of the curb there, and it really slows him down, Soup.
There is another fly in the ointment, and it's Robert Taylor. Taylor does a great job of getting out of the way. He lets the leader go by. He lets Vecchio go by. The gap now 0.8 of a second from Godin to Vecchio. They go through the hairpin, that is Abbey. Now they come back out onto the familiar part of the race course, heading down into Bridge. I don't think Vecchio's going to have anything now as Godin beginning to stretch it out a bit. 2 difficult corners to go, 8 and 9. You're watching the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, round number 8. The sprint race from Silverstone. Give it to the French-Canadian Jean-Francois Godin. Second place goes to Gianni Vecchio. Jerome Decourtel gets third. Christian Koch, 17th, all the way up to 4th. Rounding out your top 5, Luke White.
Lawrence de Rijk going to just hold off. Ty McLeod going to hold off de Rijk there at the end.
Let's go to 15th position. This is Phil Reed and Stevie Chambers. And it looks like Reed's going to get the best of it. See if there's any more battles back through the pack. I don't think so. I think they're all going to just bring it home from here. 26 cars are going to finish up on the lead lap, the last one being Bruno Dometer. You've been watching the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, round number 8 from Silverstone. What we're going to do right now is take a short break, but don't go far. We'll be back to run down the finishing order, talk to the drivers, and close up shops. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, round number 8 from Silverstone. We got the feature race and the sprint race in the books right now. What we're going to do before we do run down the standings, we're going to look at a couple early incidents. What are we looking at first, Director? We're looking at Morris, who had an incident here. Sean?
Yeah, Daniel Morris, you're going to see here. He's got a good run going on Stevie Chambers there. He runs it out wide. Car slides all the way across. And he has to let a whole bunch of cars get through there. The car really gets upset on the curbs there.
And then we'll look at the second place finisher here from the feature race, Asiotelis. This one's just a self-spin. He goes off and he does a little loopy. Now, he had a little contact earlier on. I don't think the car was damaged. And then he just does a spin here, loses all of these positions. And since he's not really racing for points, he's late to the series. He feels he's going to be at the very back of the field. He pretty much just calls it a day right there. And that's took him out of the picture. But we can run down your finishing order. He's won before. It's Jean-Francois Godin gets the win here. Started in 8th position, worked his way up to 1st. Gianni Vecchio gets the runner-up spot. Jeroen Decourtel in 3rd. Christian Koch, 17th to 4th. Luke White, 9th to 5th. Patrick Kessler, Evan Emre, Adam Tierney, Ty McLeod, 22nd to 9th. Tierney went 20 to 8th as well. And running out your top 10, how about 32nd to 10th? Lawrence, sudden strike to right. Sean?
All right, and 11th place going to go to Rene Osterkamp today, and that not a bad effort for him. He came up from 19th to get that. Urka Lindstrom falling on hard times here today, down 7 spots to take 12th. Manuel Hoyer up 18 spots himself, actually. He'll take 13th. Andy Cowie, another good run for the Milkman, up 14 spots to finish 14th. Phil Reed, 15th. Stevie Chambers, man, that was a tough break for little Stevie there. He'll finish down in 16th after starting on the pole. Christoph Holstein, 17th. Knut Martinsen, 18th. Tough break for him today. Scott Newton, 19th. And Christian Tkach, probably not finishing where he'd like to, but he'll have to settle for 20th there.
Getting paid 1.5 times his bet for hidden blackjack, Kerry Nolden. Double duck spot, Lee Robinson. Christian Kranich back there. We saw a little bit of him in 23rd spot. Alexander Valdo ran into some problems. Ben Scott in 25th. 26th, 27th, and 28th, Bruno Dometer, Robert Taylor, and Ashley Howell. Rounding out your top 30, Daniel Morris and Sarah Dove. Sean?
Okay. And it's going to end up with Vittorio Saltalamacchia in 31st, Gunnar Niehaus 32nd, Alain Philippe Andre 33rd, and, well, our big mover there in the first race, Asio Teles, is going to finish 34th. That's been a tough break for him.
All right, let's go ahead and talk with, I guess, our second place finisher. He came so close to picking up the win, and of course we're talking about Gianni Vecchio. My goodness, what a great run. Gianni, you looked great there. You just couldn't hold off the French-Canadian Godin. Just got you at the end.
Yeah, quite unlucky because I hit one of the cones in the exit of turn, 3 or 4 with 5 seconds in front of P2, and just a mistake because I wasn't concentrated enough. And yeah, after that I lost half a second per lap, and that's the reason why he closed up the gap. And yeah, just unlucky, and congrats to Godin, I think.
Yeah. Now, even though once he got by, that really wasn't over. You fought back a little bit. I thought maybe you might have a run at him if you could have hang on there on that sweeping right-hander that sets up down the main straight, but just couldn't get it done.
The problem was, after I hit the cone, I lost a lot of downforce, and that's the reason. And also behind him, I had a lot of dirty air, and it's even hard to stay close to him with the dirty air, and it's even harder with damage aero and less downforce. So it wasn't possible.
Well, we watched it in the feature race. You were able to hang in there, make the best out of that situation. And then you had enough to hold those guys back. Congratulations on your first win in the series.
Thanks.
Gianni Vecchio, your winner, your second place finisher. I apologize. Gave him the win for that one. Second place. He still needs to get that first win. Okay, Sean, who do we have as our next interview?
Hey, caught up with our friend Sudden Strike to Right. Get him in here. Lawrence, hey, congratulations. Pretty good run there for you in the second race.
Yeah, I had a very compromised night tonight because I had back of the grid penalty for both races. So I knew it was going to be tough because it's hard overtaking here and you lose a lot of time when you're behind the cars. You can easily lose 2-3 seconds a lap. So yeah, but the sprint race was pretty awesome. I think I overtook 23 people in the end. So yeah, pretty good job.
How do you do that? Tell us how you do that.
Well, I tend to brake a little bit later than everyone else in the league. I close up when you have to brake before the corner, so it's much more easier to get a good run from that when you're close behind someone. And I didn't have too much battling going on. I could lose them very quick when I overtook them, so I could drive my own pace. And I was, when I had free air, I was consistent doing 15 medium, 15 low lap times. I think I had the third fastest lap time in the race. So yeah, I was only one lap short to get my teammate, but unfortunately he was just ahead in the end. But still a good job for us. Both top 10 finished there, so pretty awesome.
Well, congratulations to you. And you know what? We always look forward to these races. How much are you looking forward to next week?
Yeah, Canada, I always seem to be very good at that track, so I'm really looking forward. It's hard on the braking and a little bit of a lower downforce track with the long straights. So let's see how that will unfold. Hope I won't have a back of the grid penalty, so I have to qualify in the top 10, I guess.
Well, sounds good, my friend. We can't wait to see you guys next week. And again, congratulations on a good day.
Yeah, thanks.
And really working hard there in that sprint race, buddy.
Yeah, and a special thanks to our sponsor, AdaptDev. They they're really good help for us. They arrange that we have all the tracks and content so we can race every week. So thanks to them. And see you guys next week.
All right, we will see you then. And Soup, that was our good friend Sudden Strike to Reich, and a big finish for him today, coming up, as we said, 22 spots to take that 10th spot.
Now I'm going to bring in the driver racing for Sim RT. He was the feature race winner. I think he got a Sim RC. I apologize for that. I did that again. I think he got an 11th place finish here for the feature race, and of course we're talking about Renee Osterkamp. Renee, congratulations on the feature race win.
Thank you. Hello.
That one went a little better. Let's go ahead and talk about that feature race. Once you got out in front, other than the lap traffic, it was a pretty smooth sailing for you.
Yeah, it was actually quite a quiet race. I did not expect that. I was expecting that Gunnar would catch me in like 1 or 2 laps. But luckily, he made a little mistake. He dropped just slightly back, just enough for P3 to fight him. So I got a little bit of a buffer on him, so I could focus on my lap times and drove it home.
Now let's go to the feature race, which was going okay for you for a while until you made a little mistake.
Yeah, my left rear caught on the grass, spun me around. Really unfortunate. Could have been a good finish, but sometimes that happens.
Yeah, Sean and I both noted on the broadcast, though, we got to tip our hats to you. You spun it around, and I know you wanted to get going, and you had a thought about going forward there, and then you said, nope, I'm going to have to wait there. Really good sportsmanship, and you let a lot of cars go by.
Yeah, I really wanted to go, but there was no room, so I couldn't. No way.
And that's what it's all. That's experience. Sometimes you just have to put that behind you and realize where you are. Hey, I don't think you're going to win the day. I think it might. Coke had a pretty good result, as did Adam Tierney, but it's going to help. It's going to help out your team a lot. So congratulations on the victory in the feature race.
Thank you.
All right, there you go, Renee Osterkamp. Sean.
Well, Soup, we could bring Stevie Chambers in real quick. Just talk to him about the hard luck he had there at the end. Stevie, have you got us, buddy?
Hello, I have you here.
You know what? Hey, great job starting for the front of the field there in that sprint race. Tell us what it was like having to deal with all that madness behind you.
I don't care. It was behind. It's not my concern. As long as I didn't spin or brake like a champion, except not in a braking zone, it doesn't matter. Not my problem.
Well, buddy, it was all going so well for you, and then there in the closing laps, it kind of fell apart there. What happened?
Well, firstly, I spun at the maggots in a bit, and that wasn't good. But after I let people go to start with, because I was like, I'm not fighting. I'll just get what I can. And that's why I was like, that's it. Nothing to lose now. Might as well go for it. So I did. And I hope you saw it, because I had a whole lap with Renault side by side, and it was amazing. And that I didn't care after that point. I was like, well, I'm happy regardless of what happens. And then I spun on the last lap and lost 3 places, and that did annoy me.
Listen, we get off to Canada next week. A little bit of change of pace here than this track at Silverstone. You looking forward to Canada?
No.
No,
I didn't do well that last season. It was awful, and I'm going to be optimistic. But if you don't see me appearing too much doing amazing spins, well, probably amazing spins, but amazing overtakes or anything, then it might be because I'm terrible at the track and I don't like it.
Okay, so I'm curious. Okay, we've got to talk to you a bunch of times. What does Stevie Chambers do with the rest of his Friday night?
Well, now me and a few of the other drivers are going to go and play a different game for probably far too long into the night. And we'll hang out and laugh far too much and probably have headaches the next morning. And that's about it.
Well, go off and get him, my friend. We'll see you next week in Canada. Thanks again for bringing us all the entertainment. Great job there in the sprint race, and we'll see you next week, buddy.
See you next week. Goodbye.
That was Stevie, and boy, I'll tell you what, I always love talking to him. Good effort out there from him today. He did a great job starting from the point, Bill, and the key is that he didn't really cause any trouble for anyone behind him. He actually got off to a great jump to get started.
Yeah, he's gonna take this wrong, but what I do at night, this is gonna sound like a backhanded compliment, but I do listen to the AOR podcast. I put that on at night when it's my bedtime. I put it on and I try to get through it. I doze off though, but it's not a reflection on the entertainment value of his podcast. Is that I'm sleepy, so I do enjoy it. Also, I have looked now at the Sim RC logo, and I see that it is definitely RC. It's not an RT. I thought it was a T with like a sweepy little bottom there. It's RT. So now I realize I should actually study a little bit more.
Well, Amjad will be happy that you got that straightened out.
Yes, it is Sim RC. So. Okay. Welcome back to the... Oh, that's the wrong part of the script. Welcome back. I can't believe I did that. We'd like to thank everyone at Apex Online Racing for organizing the Formula No 2.0 Championship, and to all the members who support this broadcast. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact them. Sean, you're up.
Always a smooth dismount here at GSRC. The AOR returns next week, Friday, May 12th, for round 9 from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, right there in Canada. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us to find out about all of our upcoming broadcasts. We're arranged for a GSRC broadcast to of your own, your best bet is to contact us over at our wonderful website, globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter at GSR Channel, and on Facebook, just type in Global Sim Racing Channel. It'll come up there for you, I promise.
And now, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Ambrose, our director Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all you, and I will give you an extra thank for having to put up with all the nonsense here that mainly was my fault. And for watching this broadcast, hopefully we can do a better job next time. I hope you enjoyed the tomfoolery that went on here. And with that said, we're off to have some fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.